name's Dr. Julie Cowie.
And I'm Professor Arthur Steiner.
And we'd just like to pinch a little bit of your time just to talk about PhD5, which is looking at how does where you live and social support impact on long-term effectiveness of exercise-based community rehabilitation with MS. Does context matter? So you'll have read from the specification in terms of what the PhD is about that there's really two phases to this PhD, and it's very applied. So in the first stage, we're anticipating looking at some of the evidence base around MS and rehabilitation in the communities, but also speaking with people with lived experience of MS, so people living with MS, conducting semi-structured interviews and finding out what their viewpoints are on what works for them and what doesn't work for them. We'll also be building from some of the other PhDs that have been looking at different interventions for people living with MS and trying to learn from them what things work well and what don't work well. In the second phase of the PhD, we'll be then looking at implementing some of these strategies. So based on what we think will work well, actually trying it out in practice and seeing whether that's the case or not. So we'll be working with practitioners and people with lived experience, and again, collecting data in terms of what's working well in those communities and for those individuals.
Yeah, one of the expectations is that you will be based in Glasgow at Glasgow Cardoon University. There is a vibrant environment that can offer you a lot of support, but also a group of other PhD students studying similar themes. So we want to create a vibrant PhD community that you can benefit from. Very important for us is also for you to understand the need to go out and speak to people and benefit from community settings, but also be able to connect with relevant stakeholders. So that's part of the expectations that we have. As a university, GCU is a university for the common good. We have a number of research programs and teaching programs that relate to supporting communities. And particularly in the Uni Center, we look at social, economic, and health inequalities and how to reduce those inequalities through different interventions, different policies. The idea is to improve the quality of life of people, and this is what is really this PhD about. So you will be able to tap into those wider networks, speak to multidisciplinary group of researchers from the Uni Center, but also from wider GCU and health school. Very important is that GCU has a vibrant PhD environment, so also PhD students studying in different schools. So there's a lot of facilities and support for PhD students in general. You will be able to access a number of training and other opportunities. You will be attending conferences during your PhD. So all of that obviously helps you to complete your PhD successfully.